we just had, I don't know, 45-minute conversation with a guy that grew up here. The way he made it sound, he's shot a lot of elk, outdoorsman. He's got a lot of ailments, but that's besides the point. He led us to this spot. We don't know, but it feels the most promising. Yeah, it's 5:15 on Sunday. Who knows?
I got up there, I'm like, I don't have my rangefinder. I got probably within 20, and it just was meandering its way up the side of the hill. Phil, we sent an arrow. Yep. Well, hey, if I missed that small on an elk, I'm fine, because it was like, it had to go like right under behind its tail, and it just did the like, and then just kind of went up the hill like this. Oh, that was fun. I stalked something. My fear as I was walking up there, I'm like, this is where the cow's gonna come walk. about the club and the kind of guys that we are, and that hey, we're there to go in together. I'm here to help you out, and I'm here for the experience as well. And I'm sure it's something that he'll remember forever as well. So awesome experience, and hope to do it again soon. You probably gonna have to do that share screen thing again.
Oh, can you not share?
I don't know. I was gonna show you how nice it would have been to have the new Onyx update that came today.
Having deja vu, Brian. Every time we did our planning meetings, he's like, I can't share. I'm like, yes, you can. And then I'm like, oh yeah, these settings are all goofy on me.
You have the no share settings.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Maggie sharing her screen.
Right.
Always wondered that.
Did that pop up now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Onyx.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got some more fires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here's where we started. Elmer's probably not going to join. So we went to 53, like we said.
Yeah.
And then we realized it's cold and there's 8 inches of snow. This is our target area. Yeah, we never made it back there.
Well, we made it within
Yeah, we made it to like
500 yards.
made it up this area, and then we were
Okay.
getting sorry. We can't. The first day we went in late, and we ended up camping here. This is our tent where we dropped a pin.
And are those all trails in there?
Yeah, so this is a trail. This trail here, I mean, it was like, I mean, you can see it's a pass to get through this mountain range.
Okay.
And it was like walking on the wall the way out when it was snowing. It was like walking on piles of Bush's baked beans. I mean, it was, you know, you got a narrow, rocky trail about this, just full of beat up, muddy horse trails, horse shit, you know.
Did you guys watch the Meat Eaters?
I did. I watched it this morning.
So
I did not.
You know when he talks about that one horse trail?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it was.
Okay.
He's like, what do you say? He's like,
Genghis Khan rode through
yeah,
here.
Genghis Khan. Yeah, that's what it was.
So the first day this road right here from Crested Butte, which you can't over here, all the way over was closed because it's one of those roads Phil was grabbing the side of the door handle.
Yeah. Like right where his arrow is, it gets sketchy.
And
Yeah.
it's closed. I mean, when they had snow, they're like, yeah, you ain't driving that. So we had to come down from the north all the way in, got on this road. By the time we had gotten there that day, it had kind of melted enough. But there was guys, I mean, all these little pull-offs you see right here, I mean, there's people in everything, all these little pull-offs. And we drove this trail, we got the whole damn day. We tried to go up to this town over here and come in a different way this way. And the difference between this town area over here and the elevation of this was like, what, like a 15-degree swing
Yeah.
in temperature. So we were like, when you show up and it's going to be 20,000
feet difference.
Yeah, when it's going to be 20 degrees at night here and, you know, 30 something over here, you're like, God, it'd be nicer to camp over there.
Yeah.
But are the elk there? So we kept going back and forth, like temperature, snow, what do we do? And we finally were like, F it, we're going to go for it. So we parked at this spot here and took this trailhead all the way up. Meanwhile, mule deer all over the place in here.
Yeah.
And we took that trail all the way up and hiked with our 50-pound packs and camped here the first night. Hung our stuff in trees.
But Brian, I was thinking about it the other day. That's 10,000 feet, roughly. I think it was like 9,900 and some change. That acclimated us for the rest of the week.
Oh, totally.
that first just night of straight up hiking like that. Yep. Now the problem is, yeah, we were hunting this, but you're still on a main trail, which is like you got to get off main trails, right?
Right.
Pretty much no sign from the car to there.
No sign here other than deer and then bear through here.
Yeah.
But so the next day we get up, we're motivated. It's freaking freezing snow. You know, you're cold. You're trying to just get moving.
Like 20.
And we hoofed it all the way back. 'Cause our goal was to get into this stuff. And we get passed by an outfitter on this trail with 10 horses. And we get to like, well, what was right to where this split, wasn't it, Phil? And we find an old fire from the night before, which is, there's a fire ban, but somebody had camped back in here. And so we took this trail over, and then we start having lunch down here somewhere. And that's when we start having the bugle back and forth with, well, obviously another guy. Their footprints in the snow were going that way. We were happened to be there over there too. It was probably them that we were bugling with. And then it started snowing like mother effer. Like all these mountains that you could see, these tops of these peaks that were, you know, these were like 11,000s. These just disappeared while we were having lunch.
You're going to give away the video.
Yeah, and that's when we were like, that's when we're like, we got to get the F out.
I was literally like, what the East Beckwith Mountain was behind Brian, and it's beautiful. And we're just talking, we're exhausted. We didn't sleep that well the night before. And then I was like, Brian, that mountain is gone. We probably need to get out of here.
So.
And you could just see the snow coming.
Right. I'm going to see if I can do this. Their new 3D beta. So.
Well, that's really cool.
Wow.
Too far.
You went too far. Ludicrous speed. No.
He's gone plaid.
So this is the mountain ranges. I mean, that's where, I mean, our camp, you can kind of see the hillside where we were. So we came, Phil, this goes back to where our camp was.
Yeah.
There you go. This is where you and I dropped that pin, like, ooh, this would be a good spot for camp too.
Like back in those pines.
Yep.
Yep.
And there's all these aspens. Yep. So like this would have been super nice to have, to be like, oh, on the map, that's freaking up there.
Yeah, the topo lines that sometimes were like hard to follow, and you're walking and looking at it. And
Right.
sticky keys.
Right. So if I zoom out, here's how we went in.
That's pretty awesome.
Here's where we parked.
And it wasn't, what was there, 4 trucks back in that parking lot? And it was a big parking lot.
Yeah. So this is that pass that we went through. Now, so if you guys remember from that view, Bob, there was that private section right up here.
Yeah.
You can kind of see these little roads.
Okay.
That's where we wanted to go. If you remember, we wanted to go, we said that one Zoom meeting, Phil, what if that first day we take that trail up and then we get back and then we get back to our target area back here?
Right.
So on the way out, after it's, I mean, it's just dumping on us, and our boats, our socks are, I mean, we're done. We're in trouble. Like we got to abort. Because this is the bowl we wanted to really be in. On the way back out, we were coming back over to our camp or to the truck, and we met that guy from Colorado. And he's like, hey, you guys give me mule deer information. If you see him, I'll give you guys elk. I'm not hunting elk. I'm from here. I hunt this unit. He's like, this unit's awesome. Super nice dude. I mean, I don't know. He was a guy you believe, you know, he's not,
Yeah.
Where are you guys from? He was like, welcome to the CO, man. You know, he was super nice.
Can I tell about his gun real quick?
Yeah.
So he had I'm guessing he's prior military. He had a 9mm Beretta strapped to his thigh, but on the handle, It was a big gold cross.
Yep.
I was like, the man of God carrying a gun.
So
Oh my goodness.
he tells us, hey, he's like, I'll tell you where you need to be. And you see this drainage right here, like this little, this is
Yeah.
this is the private. This is that we said exactly where we were thinking. This section right through here, he's like, the outfitters go past it. They go back deep, which they were. It's hard to get to, but he's like, you're not going to see 200 elk in there, but you'll see 80. And so we were like, we know that's like where we've been trying to maybe think about going too. So like, yeah, tomorrow morning, we're nailing this.
Yeah.
So of course we wake up and guess what? It's raining. It's crappy. You're dry because we just got to the laundromat. You can't go back out and get soaked if you're going to camp in it again, you know?
Right.
Because it gets so cold at night.
It's so cold again. You're getting into the 20s and we just weren't, it was 90 degrees 2 days before then. So that road, we get to this road and it goes down, that private road that goes all the way freaking up. The problem is there's water and there's a creek flowing down here, and we sat and watched a moose just freaking splash in this water, rake. That was one of the moose from several hundred yards away, which pretty sweet. We finally go down in it and we have everything on our back. Our goal is to get up here, set up camp away from the area and hunt this. And we go all the way up. We start having some encounters with more mule deer. Could have shot, I don't know how many mule deer up this route, Phil.
30.
And we get to the top and we realize, like, you can't even appreciate this. You can't get over here.
It's probably, I mean, I could look it up on Onyx, but it's probably 100 feet straight down.
Yeah,
and
it's like a
100 feet
cliff.
straight back up. Like you
Jeez.
can kind of see is it the ridge, Bob, or the ravine?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can see this like,
Yes.
top of this peak here.
It's the nibbles,
Yeah.
not the cleavage.
And it took I mean, you know how that hike, to make this hike with 50 pounds to the top, to go what we were hoping around and then be in them.
It was
We got it.
it was like
Yeah. Can you zoom in on that, Brian?
it was like it's like when you were in high school and you're like, oh, we're gonna go to the cool kid party, and you get there and no one is there. It's like we made it out and we're here and we're gonna have Zimas and
Right.
we get to the top. You like maybe you could trespass and get further up and you wouldn't have to go down as far. But I mean, we were looking across the ravine to the
Like
other
this.
side.
Yeah.
It's still up another probably 200 feet. I'm like, Brian, we're gonna have to drop down and then literally try to go straight up.
We had
Ugh.
we marked a rub on Onyx on a tree, a nice tall one.
Yeah.
But this was the drainage to get up and over and to get into this. And I think we would have been okay. But we just couldn't get in there.
We were better off probably going back the same way and cutting across and just bushwhacking it.
Mhm.
But this is like the okay, now I'm a lot smarter. Like when you can actually look at Onyx, look at the topo, look at the satellites, and then actually look at the real stuff. You're like, okay, I
Yeah.
can read this so much better now.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's people all along these roads. This road right here, I mean, there's truck. I mean, they're all going in. Now, when we're back in here, did we see people? Nope. I mean, we on the main trail, yeah. But as soon as you got off the main trail, you didn't see anybody. We didn't run into anybody.
Yeah.
Was it
Right.
one of the first guys we run into? We're like, where are you from? He's like, Virginia.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's funny. So am
Right. And we met some Minnesota guys back in here. They heard us bugling back in here. We
I.
met
Super nice
them.
guys again.
Yep. So this whole front range, the problem was this whole front range of this Beckwith Mountains. I mean, you can see we covered this pretty good right here. Not really good, but I mean, in a matter of that first day, we hiked in, back, came out. Now we were up here, and there's trucks everywhere along here. And you see how big this is. I mean,
Uh huh.
elk aren't up here, I mean, they're up in the timberline. They're up in the mountain, and you can see this. I just felt we were going to be kind of repeating off this road. You can see this road. This is all 53 to hunt this. It was just going to be like, we're going to be where everybody's already going. This mountain range kind of divides you up. Okay, so people aren't going to go up and over. So they're all mingling in here, right? So we kind of were like, let's just make a change. Let's make a drastic change.
I think mentally we had to, because we got so beat up the first 40 hours.
Just the snow and the way. We did not get to hunt as much because we did a lot of hiking, but we didn't get to do as much hunting as we wanted.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's make a change and let's get up to the flat top area, which is where we'd been talking about. That's some of the most popular areas for elk. We actually drove a couple hours north.
I was gonna say, it looks like you covered a lot of ground from.
We covered all this right here, kind of. You know, there's those mountains you were just looking at, Bob. See those in Ty?
Yep.
We covered that. We didn't cover this well, but we weren't seeing a lot of sign on this walk, and the cattle. I mean, that's a whole other thing too, which is a whole topic on itself. That if you read forums or follow like the Colorado social media stuff for elk hunting, these guys just dump their cattle in here, these ranchers and stuff, and they're just all over the place. And what they say, you'll hear, if you find cattle, you're not going to find elk because the cattle eat all the good food.
Yeah, they compete
Right?
for habitat.
They just compete for everything. And it's just sheep. Sheep are running all over the place. And then they go in after their sheep, and they're on horses, and they got their dogs running after them. So it's kind of frustrating.
Tell the story on the pissed off steer that I was like, Brian, knock a fucking arrow and get the thing down because it's gonna charge us.
Yeah. So we're back in there, and this huge steer, I mean, he's making this noise like he ain't happy. And he's looking right at us. I mean, he's a 1,000-pound type sucker too. I mean, he's looking right at us, and he is pissed off, and he just starts kind of charging down after us. But yet there were like other cows below us. So I don't know if he was like mad about maybe some ladies getting away from him, or if he was just pissed off at us, but we were like, get behind some trees because he's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't mess around.
Right. Right. So then we go, so this is the flat tops area that they talk so much about. Okay, here's that fire that's been so popular right off Glenwood Springs, but this area is the flat tops. And you can't hunt in a lot of these units. There's so much private ground in them, and they're off limit to over-the-counter tags. So we're like, hey, let's sneak in to this unit that's available to us, 231, though, and come in here into the top of the flat tops. So this unit not available to us, but this unit was 231. So we made a couple hour drive and come in this little road and got into here.
We pulled in, it was pushing 5 o'clock, wasn't it? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, we were chasing light, and we hunted pretty much this whole section through here. And that's where we had
that first night.
What's that?
Did we go out that first night or no?
No, by the time we got camp set up, it was getting dark.
Yeah, and we were both tired.
So this is where all the moose activity was. This is the moose walking through, the moose we could have shot, the 2 moose in camp, which was
That's just, that video is unreal.
it was just, I mean, they were tanks. They were absolutely.
It's amazing how big they are.
And they just feels like, who's got hay fever?
I'm in my tent, like changing my clothes and getting stuff ready, and you just hear, it sounds like someone is sneezing the next camp.
Did somebody eat mushrooms the night before?
Right. Right.
And like I hear it and I don't think much of it. Brian, I don't know what Brian's doing. He's out of his tent monkeying around. And I'm like, someone have hay fever, and then you hear Brian go, "Holy shit, there's a moose right here." So I think it's like getting ready to charge my tent. Like it's like outside my tent, and I'm a goner. And I hop out, and it's not quite right outside my tent, but it's what, 50 yards tacking right towards us.
Yeah, and to those trees, that we ranged it at 35 to those aspens that it walked into, and it was just walking broadside, came out, kind of looked at us like, huh, and then just stood there, and then just kind of veered off into the woods, just making that deep noise the whole time.
And that was a small one in reality.
Well, and compared to the ones we saw, I mean, it's still huge, but yeah. And then another one, like it was like 10 minutes later, another one came through the other side.
Are there even moose tags in Colorado?
Yeah, for residents.
Yep.
But non-residents, it's like impossible to get.
Yeah.
Yep. And we started hiking up this
in the truck in 2 hours.
Right. If we could have shot the one right there, we had a meat pole hanging in camp and everything. We were perfect. So we hike up this, and we're going to go up to this area, and there's a lot of little ponds and lakes up along this. But we're like, let's get up in some of the water areas up in here, in all some of these meadows and stuff, which was awesome, gorgeous stuff. But that's where we encountered another one. That one kind of scared us a little bit.
Kind of showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was we're stepping over deadfall. And next thing you know, it's just right there. And we're like,
Shoot it.
Right.
Slay it. Slam it? What is it, Bob?
Slam it. Slam it.
Slam it.
Yep.
But we started seeing sign.
Yeah. As soon as we left our tent, we were like, droppings, tracks. This whole thing was littered. We were in sign the whole day. We hunted the entire day up to these points and then back down. We just did kind of a loop, and we were in sign the entire time.
It was about 1,000 feet up, if I recall. I think camp was like 9,000, and I think at the top of Sand Point was about 10,000 feet. But the whole way, you're like, more poo, more tracks, more rubs.
Yeah, you just get frustrated with just.
It's like, okay, they were here within the last 48 hours tops.
Yeah. So that you can see.
Too many other hunters in there? Or?
No.
All the way around that. So this is the flat top stuff. You can see why it's called the flat tops. And this is a massive area of Colorado, but it's kind of they're almost like they're just sheared off tops. You know what I mean? They're not mountains necessarily. It's kind of weird. But
Mr. Dirksen.
Hello.
Johnny D.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up?
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
So this was the night before muzzleloader opener. So we did see a lot of guys around there, but we never encountered anybody in there until we were coming down, Phil. Remember we found the dead elk where they cut it off, the rack off?
Yes.
We kind of took a little snooze. I took a Lindsey Vaughn. And then we coming down, we ran into some muzzleloader guys we just kind of gave them their distance. And
they were in the spot that we were like, let's go hit this. This is prime. And
yeah, it was just
like
a nice drainage.
The same thing.
Yeah, they were at the bottom of this drainage, kind of like went to this meadow with a lake.
And if you recall, Brian, we hiked down quite a bit to go to that, and then we had to turn around, basically hike straight back up.
Right. So that was the moose area. A very pretty area, but the next morning we're like, let's go around. We're going to go around this and get through some other areas and go into, because we were seeing so much sign, we were still confident. We still hadn't heard a bugle. We saw, I can't count the rubs. I can't count the tracks and how much elk shit you pick up.
Honestly, we could have filled a frickin' Olympic pool with poo.
Poo and elk tracks, but just nothing was like just immediately fresh, you know? It was always that kind of like greeny, you roll it over and you could tell it's oily, but yet And then you had a lot of the dried, oh, this has been here for a week or two,
Mm-hmm.
But we went around this, we were going to go around
You
this.
have to play with the poop to determine that. You can't just like kick
No, you
it.
no, John, you have to,
You guys
Smell
are
it,
funny.
chase it a little bit.
you actually pick.
I
the
got a
poop
real
up.
big kick out of all the poop playing. It's,
Yeah.
was kind
You
of
picked
common.
You picked the poop up and I was throwing it at Phil, like piles.
Rub it on your face.
But then, like, Brian would take off his gloves to, like, do something. And of course, he, like, does the I'm going to put my glove tip in my mouth and, mess with my release and drink some water. I'm like, that's your poo glove you got in your mouth.
And, like, elk poops like the size of acorns. So when you get a handful of it, you can throw it at your partner walking near you, and it's just like, it's like machine gunning them.
But because it's so big, eventually you're like, I can kind of like hacky sack this right back at him. So then it became kind of a thing for a while.
Right.
The poo games.
Poo
So
poo.
yeah, you felt you were on them. They're just, and everybody, the people we did talk to, everybody was like, they're not talking. They're just not talking. So the more the snowstorm we thought was going to help us, the more I've kind of read people be like, I think that shut them down for a little bit. So we were going to go around this backside and go in a different way, and it was gorgeous. The lakes we encountered there, which full of fly fishermen everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
Pull that one. I think I sent that picture out.
Yeah, that was that picture we took. I mean, fly fishermen constantly everywhere, which is still cool. It was sweet to see. But we're like, there's so much recreational traffic. I don't think we're going to be able to get deep enough.
That's where we saw the nightshirt ladies.
Yes.
Like, the next place we went to was very recreational. Like, it was, a lot of.
So you didn't say were the night-shirt ladies good looking or not?
Well, we don't know. We just come by this tent, and there's 3 of them getting out of this tent, and they're in like long nighties. And Phil rolls his window down and was like, I should have yelled, like, hey.
That's not.
He's like, hey, you want to fuck?
Yeah. It was aggressive. It would have been aggressive.
And don't beat around the bush.
Yeah, like I was like, if we're gonna, make bad decisions, let's get to the chase really quick.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have time for foreplay. You just got to get after it.
Yeah.
Right. But it was definitely a mysterious, like, they're getting out of that tent, and there's like hunters everywhere around them, and they just got nighties on.
They were putting a vibe out, that's for sure.
Right.
John and Bob went to go pee-pee, I think.
Right. So yeah, a lot of recreational traffic up there. So we're just south of Steamboat. So then we make the drive over to this unit, and that's where we almost got it done. So there's Rocky Mountain National Park and Estes. So there's a shitload of elk in Estes. We're like, how close can we get to Estes Park and not?
I still think you can hunt in Rocky Mountain National Park, Brian.
Yeah, I think you can in certain parts of it.
It's just, it's hard to, like, the one thing, my criticism of Onyx and Brian was, like, the roads are not easy to find on Onyx. You would think they would, like, even allow you to, like, drop a pin somewhere and be like, give me directions to that pin. So you're, like, bouncing between Google Maps and Onyx and trying to figure out, like, how do I get there? And there was places that we would find that look good, but it's like, I don't know how you get there.
Yeah, there's definitely some of those things to work out.
Because even remember, Brian, our very first play, we drove right past the road on day one.
Oh, right. Totally.
Yeah, we're like, where was the road? And we turned around and it was pretty obvious, but
This was the, so here is that classic bull situation you talk about. If you read or listen to the elk guys, here's your north facing bull.
hold on, wait, you skipped the whole story about the guy we met.
Oh yeah. What was
Back
his
up, because there was another spot we went to where it was,
name? Tim.
we went from soggy bean trails to, are we hunting a freaking desert?
Right. I think that was off this road down here.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, we were parked here
yeah.
off this creek.
Yep.
Again, loads of fly fishermen, elk hunters. We hunted this stuff all up in here. As we got back to our truck, we met Tim.
Tim.
Tim drives by in his truck, and Tim wants to talk. Tim is your local, like, I don't know, 70-year-old, would you say?
Yeah, probably.
And he can't hunt. Former hunter. He just wanted to talk. Where'd Earl go? He's the one that wanted this story.
Narcoleptic Earl kicked in.
Right.
We've got 4 minutes before we got to
Well, I was going to say,
hop on the other Zoom.
yeah, probably do the other one because Earl wanted to hear this part. And Elmer's, I think, playing with his dingling.
Kind of looks like it.
He's doing something. It's not that big.
He's muted us.
Right.
He's resting it on it.
Look, Mom, no hands.
Right.
I'll text Bob, see what happened to him.
Well, I was going to pull up this for him. There's Earl. Earl, I think it's going
My
to.
phone died.
Oh, okay. I think it's going to kick us off in a second, right, Phil?
Yeah, in 3 minutes. Just tell the Tim. You can tell the Tim story probably in the next 3 minutes.
So, Bob, this is the place. So, just for future reference, if there's any information off this trip to take, I mean, this is not far from Denver, and
Yeah.
so this area here, we saw on this road right here, right through this section, this unit. We saw a head in camp, and we saw another guy hauling one down the mountainside. And this is where we had, again, a shitload of sign, and we actually ran into elk. So, you know, for
And
me,
that's right by that flat top area you guys were
no,
hunting?
this is now we've left that section.
Okay.
It's over here, and now we're not too far from Estes Park. Here's Estes
Gotcha.
Park. This is our last 2 days.
Okay.
We're our last 2 days there.
How
And
much research did you guys do on that spot, or was that
just this unit? We knew that it was open for over the counter, and we knew the statistics were good. You're just going to deal with a shitload of hunters.
okay?
So we're like, okay, I think there was like 89 archery bulls and like 20 cow bulls or 20 cow kills,
Yeah.
but like 1,500 archery hunters too. So we go down this road right here, you see, is full of fly fishermen and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we go hunt this area, and it's bone dry. I mean, just like a deserty area. Sign, but super old. So we go back to we're walking back to our truck, and this guy pulls up next to us, Tim. Tim's an old geezer, hunter guy. Just wanted to talk. He wanted our attention, where we're from. And as the conversation kept talking, he started giving us some intel a little bit on elk in the area, the history of the area. His girlfriend was currently up somewhere over here shed hunting for elk stuff. And if you listen to his stories and you played with his dog, he became more of your friend.
Okay.
And as Phil and I are walking back, we're literally my area, we're walking back this way, and I looked up to this mountaintop up here. Again, you look at this right here, you have no appreciation for how high this is. But we were like, God, that looks perfect up there. I mean, Phil and I had this conversation from way back here. So we get back to the truck, and he starts talking some more stuff, and he gave us a couple other places just as an idea of where elk used to be. And then as the conversation was winding, he literally looks at both of us and goes, "You guys are in good shape." And we're like, "Yeah, we try." And he kind of pointed up over his shoulder, which was this.
he did the classic. Well, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but and he kind of looked around. He's like, "That's where you guys want to be."
Right.
You're like, "You just said that."
Right. So we said the same thing, but he literally gave us. You could tell he knows his shit. I mean, he gave us little details
Yeah.
and roads to get up here, and he's like, "You're gonna take this. You're gonna come to this. You're gonna take this. You're gonna turn here," and so we
It's a
end up.
one-lane logging road that's like straight up, and you're like, Brian, do not go a foot that way because we will die.
Right. It's one of those types of roads.
That's
So-
awesome.
So we get all the way up there, and drop camp off, and